Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's Joe D, and welcome to Share a Beer 414.
Hmm.
There's been 413 of these prior to that. Go look at all the tape. It's on there somewhere, and there's a whole bunch of them that we didn't tape. Thank God, right? But
That's for sure.
yeah, those are pre Google Plus, pre all the the hardcore taping days. So thank goodness. But in any case, man, we are here now. We are live. There's many ways to join, but they all end up back on YouTube nowadays. I think everything lines up back to YouTube. So you can tune in here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and watch Share a Beer. And then we have a Friday Share a Beer at 10 a.m. Phoenix time, if that's not confusing enough for you. What is that? What is that, Mark? 1
Eastern in the
1
summer.
o'clock Eastern. So there you go. Boom. So you've got two choices: 7 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Eastern. You know, one's on Tuesday, one's on Friday. Boom. There we go. I simplified it for you, man. Huh? What do you think? What do you think, Andrew?
I just sat down. I just got out of rush hour traffic. Yay.
Oh, so you're in a fantastic mood is what you're saying.
I just got home from work. Yeah.
Okay.
Time for a beer.
Yeah, time for a beer. Have a beer. Share a beer. Hey. Huh?
It's a good
Now-
show.
Now, we've got two participants in the show right now that are each coming off vacation. So we'll cover a trip somewhere other than where they normally live. So let's go with Barrick first, and then we'll go into Mark, and then we'll kind of. So Barrick, what beer are you drinking, and then tell us a little bit about your trip if you're willing to share.
Well, I just finished up one of mine. I was going to pour a different one. If you give me just like 2 seconds,
Okay.
ask something else and come back to me, and I'll have a different beer.
Okay, no problem. So we'll go to Mark then. What beer are you drinking, my friend, and then a little bit about your trip, if you will.
Okay, yeah. I am drinking the 2017 Optimum. This is the last. I forgot about them, and I was just in the beer store today, and there was like a 6-pack of this, like stuck on some end cap with Modelo, and I'm like, "Is this the only one?" They're like, "That's the last one we got."
So that the end of the beer line is when you're with Modelo. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Anyway, somebody picked it up and decided they didn't want it, I'm sure, and left it there. But that was the only one they had until later on in the week, I guess. But
Oh, wow.
it's a triple IPA, fresh hop. It's
Wow.
9.3%.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good size. It's a pretty good sized beer, and I'm about halfway through my first one. And nice color though. Slightly. I mean, it's not totally IPA hazy. I don't know if you guys can see. There's lots of nice little bubbles streaming up from the bottom of this glass.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's very tasty. For a triple IPA, there's definitely some malt, but it's not real sweet, and the ABV is hidden very well. It's
Hit
hoppy.
you later.
It's hoppy, but it's not like resiny hoppy. There's a lot of citrus and like tropical fruit, so maybe like mango, banana, that type of thing, and very well balanced. Just a good beer overall. I'm giving it 4 1/4, which is for me a pretty solid score. And it's one of the better IPAs I've had this year.
How much did you pay for that 6-pack, Mark? I'm curious.
I paid $11.99.
Is that it? Okay.
I think so.
Both places I've seen it at, the price wasn't marked, which I thought actually was
Yeah,
not a
I
good,
didn't know. I just
good
saw it there.
sign.
There wasn't any price. I'm like, oh well, I haven't had a Optimum in quite a while, so.
Let me go into just this part of it before you go into your your
definitely.
story.
I mean, I haven't looked at the website yet, so.
Yeah, let me just go into. So I was born in 1906.
10-year-old, 111. Wow.
I don't now. When we think of it that way, I was born in 1906. I don't look that bad.
Yeah, really, you look damn good for 111.
Exactly. So when you're comparing the ugly,
Mhm.
consider that. Hello, But in any case, so here is the beer Mark is drinking. Their 2017 edition of Optimum. I have not had this, man. Or if I did, I forgot.
I had a Optimum like 4 years ago, and I haven't had one since. I just thought, I'm like, I got to get this. So
Like you said, 9.6%, 65 IBUs.
Yep.
Finishing hops are Citra, Simcoe. Dude, everything's got Citra these days, right?
Yep.
Simcoe, Chinook. It is a good hop, man. It's
Yeah.
very good hop, and then Simcoe for the bittering. And then like you, and let me go to the Untapped really quick as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna log it right now. Actually,
4,308 for the 2017 version.
4,309. Wait a second.
And then there's gonna be 4,309.
I got a badge. Wheel of Style, level 15. All right.
So let's refresh, and we should see some
A badge
friends
winner
on there
beer.
as well.
There we go.
10. It went up by 2.
Oh wow.
You counted for 2. Look at that. So here's Mark's picture of his Optimum there, so you can see that. What's the score on this? 4.16.
Yeah, I gave it 4 1/4. So
Look at that, man.
it's a good one.
That is a solid beer, man.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Very tasty.
If I knew about it, I forgot about it, like you said too. So I need to just pick some of this up
Yeah,
too.
I mean it was basically $12 for a 6-pack, which is a little high, but you know Sierra Nevada, you know you can pretty much count on their stuff to be pretty tasty. So it was
Right,
worth
especially when it comes to the hop. They're
it.
good
It's a
at that.
6-pack, not a 4-pack. It's a 6-pack of 9% beer for $12, so not bad.
Over 9% too. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's worth it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So what's the story on your trip?
Excellent trip. We went up to, I guess, north central New York. We were up in Albany, Troy area for my nephew's graduation, and then we took.
Now, can you say North Central and do you do gang signs with North Central? Do you
Yeah.
do you do it like that or
Yeah.
North Central's kind of
North
do you have to
Central,
do it
North
like-
Central, North Central,
It-
along
it-
the Hudson River.
Yeah, not along the Hudson. Yeah, no,
Hudson.
it's just kind of. Do you have to do it with like a squeaky voice, kind of North Central? Yeah, we're doing North Central.
Hudson River
And you-
Valley.
We have Hudson River Valley. You got to say it kind of quick. Is that how it? North Central Hudson River Valley. Yeah, Hudson
Yeah,
River
that's
Valley.
it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But no, it was an excellent trip. We spent the first 4 days hanging out with my nephew, who was graduating from college. So that was fun, hanging out at his apartment with his 4 other roommates. And man, I forgot how crappy we lived when we were in college. Man, their apartment was a pit, but they thought it was clean.
Oh
So-
yeah, no, yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's all perspective, right? It's
Oh man,
You know.
yeah. And so we drank a lot of beer with them, which was fun. It was that was a lot of fun, and got to see him a couple mornings after he tied one on with his buddies overnight. That's always good. And then we went to Cooperstown for a few days. So we did the Baseball Hall of Fame, and Omegang Brewery was nice to be able to go and see. So we did that on Wednesday, yeah, which was a nice day. Went and did the tour. Went to the tasting room. I think I had like 6 or 7 of their beers between the tour and the tasting room.
I seen your picture of the brewery. Now, what is it? Is it a big place? Is it kind of
No.
small?
I mean, it's pretty big, but they only really have one brew kettle system, and it's like it's a big brewery. I mean, a big brewing system, but there's only one. What's interesting though is Omegang. You're starting to see a lot of sours from Omegang, like Belgian sour ales and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
All of those are brewed in Belgium and shipped to Omegang, where they bottle and distribute.
Oh.
Because they're owned by Duvel, that company. They own Omegang. They own Boulevard Brewing in Kansas City, and a couple others. But
Joe,
all their
didn't you have a Duvel a couple weeks ago?
No, that was Neary. Neary had a
Neary had a Duvel.
Duvel.
Oh, Neary. Okay.
yeah, he had a Duvel.
So yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know that, but they sell a lot. I mean, they sell a lot of sour ales, but all of their sour ales are brewed in Belgium and shipped over, and then bottled here, on their bottling line, and then distributed from their brewery. But they don't brew the sours at the brewery, so that frees up a lot of capacity, I guess.
Oh.
But I was surprised because they're distributed in 46 or 47 states, and they've only been around about 20 years. 97. They started in 97.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
And they got bought by Duvel in 2005, something like that. So they've been owned by Duvel for
Quite some time.
10 or 12 years. And but I mean, it's a nice site. They were getting ready this weekend. They were, you know, they do all the Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah.
So they were getting ready this last weekend. They were going to premiere their newest Game of Thrones beer, and they were actually going to have the Iron Throne or whatever it's called from Game of Thrones was actually going to be there, whatever it is. I haven't watched. I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, you've never, dude? Don't say that. Don't let those words
If I
come
can
out
get
of your
HBO
mouth.
for free, then I'll do it.
Same.
Otherwise, I'm not.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That is. If Mark wasn't such a close friend of the show, we'd boot him, right? That's a bootable offense, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Don't ever say that.
I'll say it. I don't watch it.
Oh, that's it. Andrew, we don't care about. You're not that close. You're out of here.
If it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or
How
Hulu,
How
watch
about
it.
Walking Dead?
Yeah, Walking Dead.
That's another one I don't watch.
But yeah,
Mark
so they were
went to
going to have their
Baseball Hall of Fame,
latest.
too, so.
Yeah, they were going to have the latest Game of Thrones specialty beer reveal over the weekend, along with concerts. I mean, they were setting up when we were there, and it looked like it was going to be a good time. So I was just going through my Untapped, and I think I increased my unique beer count by like 30 last week. So that was a good trip.
That's good.
Wow.
And no, it was good. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I got lots of beer, and I got some photography in. I don't know, Barrett, stay. Don't leave.
Don't
Got a little bit of
fall out.
photography in, lots of beer, hanging out with family. So it was a good time. Very good trip.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I knew there was a connection there with Omegang. I thought it was with Canada somehow, but it's with Belgium directly with Duvel. Okay.
Yep.
Now, is it part of Duvel made in Canada or something? Where does?
I don't know if they might have bought, what's that brew? Is it Unibrew? Are they still independent? They're the one up in Quebec that does all the Belgian style ales.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're owned by Duvel or not. I know Duvel owns Omegang and Boulevard, and there's one other brewery that they've purchased here that does mostly Belgian style.
Right.
beers. But they claim that Duvel hasn't really told them to do one thing or another. He just said, keep brewing the beer the way you brew it, and we'll provide the money and the distribution, basically.
I couldn't tell you. I know I've had at least one of the Game of Thrones beers, and really good, not bad at all. It was really good. I think there's. Does anybody know right offhand how many Game of Thrones beers that?
There's got to be 4 or 5. I think I've had 1 or 2.
I think there's like 10 of them, to be honest.
Wow.
Is there really? Okay.
There might be more than. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I bet you if you look at the Omegang's site, they'll probably talk about because I'm like, well, can I get a taste of that? And he's like, it might get to Georgia, but you won't get it. There's not going to be enough, basically.
Yeah. No, it's because they're hitting on that. They're the only ones that can do it, right? They have that. There was a relationship there somehow, right?
Yeah. One of the producers or something tried the beer and knew the people that bought Omegang or started Omegang or something, and that's how they got connected.
Yeah. There's
it's going to be a huge. He says, "Oh, it's been worth so much to us, really." That whole association.
Oh yeah.
Brought in so many new beer drinkers and really helped promote the brand all across the country.
Right.
It's like Utah, Wyoming, and Mississippi are the only 3 states, and Hawaii are the only 3 states that Omegang isn't sold in.
Poor Utah.
Wow.
They're even sold in Alaska, and they said, was it Hennepin? Is that the one that they're big? That's like their Belgian wit, I think. He said for some reason that's really popular in Alaska. And I'm like, okay.
Huh. Yeah, it is kind of interesting what beers are popular in what areas and so forth. Now Utah, it wasn't too many years ago that we used to talk about Utah as like the no man's land of beer, but the last 5 years, 6 years,
they've added a lot.
they have boomed in Utah, man.
Yep.
In between diaper changes, man, they brew some serious beers.
That's bad.
That's yeah. To anybody that
That's bad.
you know,
That's not even right, Joe.
well, you know, I don't know why, but you know, every time I think Mormons, I think diapers. So,
Yeah. Social underwear.
yes, it's the social underwear thing. Yeah, they. But yeah, I didn't realize that is one thing about Phoenix. A little bit inside Phoenix news. Arizona, rather, like it's the second highest population of Mormons.
There's a lot of Mormons in Phoenix. Yeah.
There's a freaking lot, like a lot, for real. Like I had no idea. I had none.
Well, Steve Young, 49ers quarterback, he was basically Brigham Young's, I think, third out grandson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like directly related to the dude.
Yeah, he's like, I think, third or fourth out from Brigham.
Yeah.
So what beer what beer did you have, Barrick, and a little bit about your story, man, because that's pretty important, right? That was a popular, important visit for you.
I am drinking
J-Dubs.
Up Top J-Dubs. You know, I like their Bell Cow, and I thought their other one was okay. Their IPA, I'm liking it. It's a very mild IPA. It's 6.5. I think 55 IBUs. It's a nice, almost sessionable IPA. Very nice. I'm pleasantly surprised with it. I mean, it's not going to knock your socks off or anything. It's probably not going to score, 4 1/4 on whatever, but it's good and solid. And there's nothing wrong with it.
And it's yeah, sure, yeah. So it's a good sessionable type of
Kind of an everyday drinking IPA.
yeah, yeah.
It's 3.64 on Untapped.
Oh, I kind of like their now we've been on their website before. They changed it up. I'll do this really quick before you go sharing your thing with us. But they look at it. I like this video with them in the cow suits, man. This is pretty cool. I did not expect that because I think the last time we came on here they didn't have this video, so that's pretty cool, man. They put a little production into this and everything. It looks a little cut off, but
That's a good beer right there. That Bell Cow is solid, in my opinion.
so yeah, that's a couple of big guys in cow suits, man, and
Yeah. I mean, who can go wrong with big guys in cow suits?
yeah, big guys in cow suits. There you go, man. You know
And he
what I'm
was
saying?
using proper hand signals to turn
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everything was legal.
That's
Yeah,
right.
He stuck out his left hoof.
yeah, the left hoof, man. Yeah. So, so what could you share with us about your trip? Anything, or you'd rather keep that to yourself?
I'll make everything short. I went down for I only have one granddaughter. Went down for her second birthday. Her mother did not know I was coming.
Oh, sweet.
I surprised her. I was talking with her on the phone, and she says, "Hang around Grand Haven. I got an hour to kill before Lily, which is my granddaughter's doctor's appointment." I said, "Why don't you go hang out at Meijer?" Meijer is like Michigan's version of Walmart.
Okay. Oh yeah. I remember Meijer. Yeah.
Yep. Fred Meyer.
She said, "That's a great idea. I'm right close by." I said, "Okay, well, listen, I'll meet you at the grocery department." And she thought I was joking. She went there and I met her and she started crying.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and every day we went to a different brewery. And
There
you
you go.
can't throw a rock and not put a window out of a brewery in Michigan. And had campfires, I think, most every night. We ate a lot of fish. We ate a lot of pizza. Anyway, it was just a really good time. I got to
Cool.
spend a lot of time with my grandbaby and my kids, so it was really good.
That's the important thing, man. Spending the
Heck
time.
yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to. I'm glad you shared that with us because I knew you were going up there for that reason to see your grandchild, and it's Now that I actually have one as well, and our grandkids are about the same age. Mine's about to be 2, and I mean, I can be in the worst mood ever, and then my daughter texts me a picture of my grandson, and I'm like, oh, that dude is funny. You know what I'm saying? Just his face, man. The guy can be being a total brat, and I'm like, look at that guy. He's being a brat. You know what I'm saying?
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Glad he's being a brat with you, not with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When I showed up and my daughter was so surprised, she started crying, and she was holding Lily, and Lily was going, Papa, Papa, Papa.
Yeah.
She just kept saying it. I had surprised her too, so it was really pretty cool.
That's
I had really liked that.
It really is. I know in my case, I went down after he was born. So, that's just too little for him to remember. So when I went for his first birthday, there was that whole, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Period. For him, and but he quickly just warmed up to me. I mean, very quickly just warmed up to me. You know what I'm saying? And like they kind of know there's this deeper connection with you or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's my roots right there, man. So pretty cool, man.
We do a lot of video chatting, so I think she recognizes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter got an iPhone, so yeah, we do FaceTime, and isn't this and this is just in general. I mean, this day and age is awesome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now we do the same thing here every week on Share a Beer, of course. And it's a very similar experience, but to do it on your phone as well with your family and stay in touch is amazing. It's just phenomenal, man. Like they've been hiring a lot of military at my job. Guys that are just getting out of the service can get a job at my job like that, and which is fantastic. And I tell the ones that I've talked to, they're hiring a lot of them, honestly. The ones that I have talked to, I'm like, God, I wish there had been an opportunity like this for me coming out of the service. I mean, but I'm glad that there is this for you, man. And I love talking to them because when they're overseas, they're never really that far away. You know what I'm saying? They're in the middle of a war, and they're still like, video chatting and having these like it's nothing, so it's so cool. How far we've come with this technology. So
yeah, that's cool.
I like that, man. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us, Barrick and Mark. Appreciate it, man.
You bet.
Tom, what are you drinking, my friend?
I am drinking a Lagunitas High Westified.
Oh, High Westified.
Imperial coffee stout. Ooh.
Surprisingly very cheap. A 6-pack of this goes for about $13-14 for barrel aged beer. It's not bad at all.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the big boys that they are owned by now, right?
I'm not sure.
It might.
This is the first year I've had it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't remember Lagunitas always being reasonably priced.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe, the availability of ingredients or so forth, if they get help with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do any more barrel aging? Like, how many barrel aging, like, how many bottles, like, how many types of beer do they barrel age? I don't remember seeing many.
I don't know.
Is that bourbon barrel aged? Is that what they did?
This rye barrel.
Rye. Yeah.
Rye whiskey, huh? Okay.
There's a lot of rye aging going on too.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's actually bourbon or if it's whiskey. Because what's the saying? All bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys can be bourbons. I think is the thing. Bourbon is just a way how old the barrels are and that type of stuff is what makes a bourbon a whiskey. But I wonder if they say rye, if it's more of a whiskey barrel instead of a bourbon barrel, because bourbon barrels have to be a bourbon barrel. They have to be the first time you've used a barrel.
Yeah, they got to try.
Whiskey can be multiple use. So I wonder if that might be the thing, because most bourbon is made out of rye. It's got rye and corn. But,
yeah. There's a whole calculations and how they differentiate, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got me on that sort of thing, man.
Bourbon has to be from a new barrel. So you can use it for bourbon, but you can't use it for bourbon again. You could sell it and they could make rye whiskey in it, but they can't use bourbon in it. It has to be a new barrel for bourbon. It has to be 3 years. I think it has to be a minimum of 3 years for bourbon.
3 years, okay.
Yeah, but bourbon doesn't have to be from Kentucky.
Right.
People are like, "Oh, bourbon can only be." No, as long as you use a new barrel and do it for 3 years, and it can be bourbon.
Then it's bourbon. Yeah. Okay.
It can be Colorado bourbon if you want it.
Now, Padal in the chat says aged for a certain number of years in a charred barrel.
Yep.
And made in the USA.
Yeah, it has to be U.S. Well, I think so. Yeah, U.S., but it doesn't have to be Kentucky. I think he's right.
Yeah, just made in the USA.
A new charred barrel, but not necessarily from. Although like 95% of bourbons are from Kentucky, but.
So that's confusing. So what if you make bourbon in a different country? It's not called bourbon. It's called whiskey.
I don't think it's called bourbon. It'd be the same thing, but they couldn't call it bourbon, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, because there's some good bourbons coming out of Colorado, man. Now Colorado is also like a big craft whiskey state.
Oh yeah, Stranahan's is the big one in Colorado. They were the first one like 8 or 10 years ago. Stranahan's craft whiskey.
Oh, talking about Utah.
So really quick, the High Westified Imperial Coffee Stout.
12%. That's a big one.
12.2%. So that's a speaking of Colorado, that's a session Colorado beer.
That's like a Colorado session beer. Yeah.
Yeah. And 39.6. I love this when they do that. They're not being real specific or nothing. It's just kind of 39.6 IBUs. So, and wow, so that one's out of season a little bit. First introduced in 2015. Love the information on here. Sold as 12-ounce 6-packs or on tap. I would love to have that beer on tap.
So they get the barrels from Park City, Utah. Okay. So there's
and here you go. So this is let me go back in this sentence. Wow, that's a long sentence. We brew a rich malty imperial stout with some Metropolis Spice Island blend and then then let it vintagize in High West rye and bourbon barrels. So it's both, right? In High West rye and bourbon barrels for 17 freaking months.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Most of them seem to be like 6 months or less. It seems like for bourbon barrel.
So what are you getting out of that beer, man? I am curious. That's got to be slightly complex brew.
Yeah, there's got to be some.
I mean, off the nose, you get strong. Even right now, you still get strong coffee. The coffee's still there.
I wonder how warm is the beer? Is it right out of the fridge or is it warmed up at all?
I took it out and put it in the freezer for about half hour, and then I took it out. It's been out for like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, so that's probably. That sounds pretty good. I bet as that warms up, you're going to get that. You're going to get that vanilla type stuff. That caramel and vanilla type stuff that you get from the bourbon barrels.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
So here's the 16 version, which I'm sure you're having.
Yeah.
At 15, look at that, 15,000 ratings on here, 15 and a half. 579 still this month. So in the last 30 days, that's pretty good. 434.
Solid.
That is solid, man.
Yeah.
That is solid.
I'm
telling you, if you ever see it in store, grab it.
Yeah, I'm
really good.
I just added it to my want list on Untappd.
Did you buy it on the single or did you buy that
when I went to the store, I only seen them in singles, and there were 4 singles, and they were only $2.50 a pop. So I was like, hey, why not?
Yeah, $2.50. That sounds really good, actually. That's yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all. $2.50 a beer. And it's still going. That's the last of it you have right there.
No, I have 2 more bottles.
2 more.
Yeah.
And Bum, what do you have, my friend?
If you remember a couple weeks ago, I had something from one of my local places, Rivertown Brewing. They're probably the biggest local brewery. It's the place I told you started out as the dive bar, and they've just grown into a brewery. And I also mentioned that I wasn't a huge fan of their beer, but the one I had a few weeks ago, the Glove Dropper IPA, was pretty deep. So I saw this and I decided to give it a try because it was a brown ale. It's called Hip Oats, HIPPOATS.
Hip Oats. Huh. Okay.
A brown ale, and it's pretty much what I would expect for a brown ale from Rivertown Brewing. It's pretty thin, fairly thin. As it's warmed up, it's when I first opened it, it almost seemed like it tasted like something that maybe somebody added some Nestle's Quick to.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
And as it's warming up, even that's fading. That artificial chocolate is fading from it.
Going away. Okay.
What's the ABV on it?
5.3, I believe.
Yeah, 5.3. There's little information on it. It's
yeah, the chocolate's kind of faded. It's actually kind of. This is kind of now turning into just a glass of brown nothing.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Does it taste metallic a little bit?
No, not metallic at all.
No.
It's just it's hard to describe. It's always hard for me to describe, but
I'm the same way.
Certainly you're not typical tasty brown ale. But once again, I'm not overly shocked. I see it's the
113 ratings on here. 93 of them were in the last 30 days. So people just picked this up.
Yeah.
3.6 though is not, but that's not horrible.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 3, maybe if I was pushing it 3.25, possibly. Okay. But yeah, Rivertown. I just like I said, they sell the stuff at PNC Park. They have some pretty big accounts. Much to my amazement.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
they're all over the place in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's definitely a brewery. You go to Pittsburgh, you're gonna see that brewery.
Yeah, you'll see it for sale everywhere.
Okay.
Isn't it nice just to go into a brewery and just buy beer, man?
Oh yeah.
Like the thing ever, because you know it's fresh, you know it's the way they want it. They want to serve it. You know it's the way they want it to be, and you could bring it home. You can't complain. It's fresh.
Now I've never been to the Rivertown, the actual brewery itself where they sell the stuff on draft. I've had a couple of things on draft away from the brewery, and once again, never been overly impressed by any of their stuff. This is maybe the 5th Rivertown I've had in however long they've been around, 6, 7, 8 years maybe.
Okay.
Now there's a definite, and I know we've talked about this a lot over the years. There's a definite difference in having the beer canned, not necessarily the difference between canned and bottled, but having it bottled or canned and then having it fresh at the brewery is a definite different experience. Like I've bought beer at the brewery, at a particular brewery, and it's freaking amazing. And then you buy it like in the store, and it can still be good, but it loses sometimes just that little bit. But we've talked to our friend actually working in the Guinness brewery itself over there in Ireland, and he says himself, man, yeah, you have a Guinness from the brewery over here on tap, and you'll like burn all your freaking Guinness beer. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like, yeah, you'll drain pour all that stuff. It's just so amazing, and I've heard that time after time after time. So it's definite. What's and I had this conversation over the weekend with an extreme wine person that was in the middle of their trip to wine country up there in California, and in the middle of wine bliss over there. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. But one of the points I was making was, you know, you can do that anywhere in America now with beer. Anywhere in America, just like Barrick said, you know, he went home and boom, we hit a different brewery every day, and you don't necessarily need to take a trip to the wine, like, because wine, I feel like, and we've talked about it just in the last couple of shows, I feel like wine is regional. Like, you can go to, you have to kind of make a trip somewhere in your state to have wine, right? And beer, I mean, you can almost go, you know, every single town almost has its own brewery, if not multiple breweries. So it's very, very unique and a lot of fun. As Tom was saying earlier, man, it's just great to walk into a brewery and you're like, give me a blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, oh, this is awesome. And what do you have in Andrew? What's your? I just got in from work. You know, well, now it's been a little while ago, but
City of St. Paul's finest H2O.
I got you.
All right.
I got you. Now, do they? Is that reprocessed? Is that?
Yeah, if you want to call it that, yeah.
Was that former? You know, is that?
No, it's fresh water.
Okay, all right, yeah.
How is the water out there?
Pretty good.
Did they put fluoride?
Yeah, I think they put a little fluoride in it and run it through.
They do the same thing over here.
But we got a charcoal filter on the fridge, so it kind of filters out some of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we've got. I have to mention, man, we have had one hell of a live chat going on.
That's good.
I want to make sure to say hi to most people in here. We got Padow and Earth in there. We got Carrie in there.
And Ruben. Now Ruben just jumped in.
Oh, Ruben's
cool.
Oh yeah, Ruben's in there. So we got one hell of a chat going. I love that because they can listen to the conversation plus have their own conversation going, and they do, which is good. So you can speak very freely in the chat as we've had before. We've had political discussions going on in there.
Oh yeah,
Space Dust. Yo, man. Yeah,
that's
an awesome beer, Space Dust. I just opened up the chat. Yeah, having some good stuff.
Oh, Joe, I put a couple pics up on Google Plus for you, and how I got my router and Wi-Fi set up here, right by the desk, just to my left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to check that out later. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of sage advice for you next time you have router issues.
Oh, okay. Well, the big, I'll just give you a heads up. You're always going to have them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if Google itself can have problems with its internet, you know, if Amazon has problems and they basically rule the internet, it's in America at least. Yeah, you're just, that's the nature of the beast. Like, you're going to have to put up with, and really all I had to do, I was trying to, when we had the technical difficulties last week, I was trying to avoid rebooting my router, but which is what I ended up having to do, and then that solved everything. So if once every couple of months I have to reboot it, I mean, that's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
I did notice on the Friday show, Joe, you were visually choppy the way you were at the beginning of the show on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So there was a little, you know, and I think that was on my computer because it was my computer was running really weird too. So I had to do a couple little things, and then it started because it wasn't running my editing software very well at all for my photography. So
you're fine tonight.
Tonight's okay. Yeah, right.
The frustrating thing about that is when it's happening to you, you're the only one that's not aware
Right.
it's happening. Everybody else, it's
right.
happened to all of us here. It's happened to me. And you're sitting there and everything seems normal to you. And there's all this crap going on that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. And even sometimes when right now I don't have it up, but sometimes I'll have up the feed so I can monitor it, but it still won't show up there sometimes. And I just now pulled it up, but I have it paused so that it doesn't mess me up. But yeah, it's been that way forever too, since it was the former Google Plus Hangout. It was really bad in the beginning. So now we have these little hiccups every now and then. They've pretty much got it dialed in really well. So for the most part, we really don't have that many problems. So I don't worry about it too much. On my end, I can kind of reboot my computer, and that generally will take care of it. I go through a process, so it's either reboot my browser, which sometimes takes care of it, and then if that don't take care of it, then I'll reboot my computer. If that don't take care of it, then I'll reboot the computer and the router, and then that pretty much takes care of it. So
from the inside out, right?
Yeah, from the inside out. Yeah, and it's a whole process that you go through, because it's a matter of it's in degrees of lazy, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? If I could take care of it with just a mouse click, then it's all good. If I've got to actually move my hand and hit a button on the computer, I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Hey, come on, man.
I've got to go downstairs to do my router. I've got to actually go downstairs and expend energy. And I was like, that's a bridge too far for me.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is ridiculous.
I'm just going to stop. I'm just stopping. That's it.
And you might even call somebody for it too. You're like, I had to get up and reboot my router.
my God, what have we all turned into as humans?
Yeah.
There's people in other countries walking miles for water. And we're complaining about going down the street.
Yeah. I'm like, I got to get up and walk across the room and reboot my router.
Right. I mean,
problem.
If something exactly the biggest first world problem. I mean, if I have to do an extra mouse click, I'm kind of like, you got to be kidding me, right? I had to do 2 extra mouse clicks. This is ridiculous, dude. Honestly, come on, Google, get your stuff together.
I actually had a situation a couple of years ago when it was actually on the phone company's side, and it was actually out in the box down at the end of the block. And somehow a set of twisted pairs came undone, and literally we had no phone service in our house. So it was actually out at the box, and I called used my cell and called their troubleshooting line and said, "Hey, it's not in the house. I didn't play with any wires. It's on your side."
Yeah. And they don't believe you. They're like, "Oh no, check this, do this." And they're like, "No, it's not me, it's you." And they're like, "Oh well, we'll investigate." And you come back and go, "It was us."
Yep. They sent the service tech out the following day. He plugged into our line downstairs. He's like, "Yep, it's outside at the box. It's not your problem. It's not your bill. You don't have to eat it. We will."
Boom.
That's what I want to hear.
Other than that, my only issue is once in a while, CenturyLink, their internet modem will act up, and all I got to do is unplug it, let it sit for 20 seconds, plug it back in, done.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys have for internet around?
I got it. I got CenturyLink.
I've got Xfinity.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, me too.
That's my only choice here. I could get AT&T, but it'd be DSL.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not
Only
really
real choice is Xfinity, unfortunately.
Yeah, Cox Cable.
He said Cox.
He said Cox.
He said Cox.
He said Cox. Yeah, I have Cox Cable. So
You want to spell that, Joe?
a quick story before we get into the rant and rave section of the show. So everyone, get your rant and rave ready. But this is Guinness going vegan. So in case you didn't know, Guinness is vegan compliant now. So the company announced Monday, and this is towards the end of last year, right? The company announced Monday that starting at the end of 2016, its beer will no longer contain trace amounts of fish bladder, an integral part of its filtration process. Few customers, except perhaps vegans and vegetarians who enjoy a pint, were probably even aware that the famous ink black drink contained any fish parts at all. But it is actually quite common for cask beers to be filtered using isinglass, a gelatin-like substance diverted from the dried swim bladders of fish that is used to separate out unwanted solids like yeast particles from a brew. The company said so. That's kind of how ridiculous to me that the whole vegan thing has gotten. You know, people they're not even aware of certain stuff until they research things, and then they research it to death, and then they find out, oh, there's such a small trace of a fish bladder, for Christ's sake, which I thought vegans ate. I don't understand the whole vegan thing. I'm very confused by it, right? But so in any case, you get down here and the substance is removed from the beer after it has fulfilled its filtration role. So what was it that they used instead? Let's see. Spokesman for the company said that only trace amounts ever make it into the final product.
But that's too much for vegans.
Yeah, I mean but it's gotten that extreme though. I mean,
come on. If you're a vegan, I mean, alcohol is not necessarily healthy anyway. So if you're a vegan, why are you drinking alcohol? That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Well, you know, it may be something they're doing, like we've went green or something like that.
Right.
Maybe the vegans don't even give a shit. It's just them that's saying, "Hey, we're now
state-of-the-art filtration system." So they fixed it with technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of them, it's not the health thing, it's the morality thing about using animal products. But I'm sure any medications they've ever taken or makeup they've applied to their face has all been tested on animals at one time or another. So you can't escape it. You cannot escape animal usage for human benefit, no matter how hard you try.
The reality of growing corn, vegetarian products kills more animals than not, because to plow the fields and to grow, you kill like billions of insects and mice and all that stuff to plow up the field to grow the corn that's vegan friendly. So that's why I said we have molars for a reason. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's very confusing to me.
I have teeth. I'm a carnivore. Sorry.
I kind of thought I thought being a vegan, I mean, I can remember years ago, and someone explained it to me that you just didn't eat meat, and that's
vegetarian, and vegetarians, they won't eat meat, but they would still eat cheese, drink milk, butter, animal products. Vegans, if anything, and vegetarians would eat fish too. I don't think, as my buddy said to me the other day, vegans will not eat anything with a face. So
no animal product at all,
or animal product at all.
Oh dear God, yeah. So I had a roommate one time, and this was my only experience with this. That was Muslim, and so it's my only experience with someone with an extreme diet like that I had to put up with, right? And it was very tough because at that time I was on at least this extreme budget, you know what I'm saying? So I was down to like eating bologna sandwiches for life, right? and top ramen and all those sorts of things. That was that part of my life. And so I thought I was being nice by, hey man, I got some bologna for us. And he's like, dude, are you kidding me? Bologna? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I'm like, are you serious? And then it got so crazy for me. It was very difficult to understand, but I bought some soap. I mean, the guy said he was out of soap, so I bought some soap, and he was like, oh no, I can't use that because it's blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm done buying you stuff for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just completely done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you buy your stuff, I buy my stuff because I can't.
Separate cabinets, we're all good. Yeah.
It makes my head hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, my friend? What's your name? Where you from, man?
That's me?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's Lance, though, also known as Lance the Lush. Just a simple old YouTube beer reviewer, that's all.
Oh, awesome, man. Hey, well, welcome, Lance. What are you drinking, my friend?
Right now, I'm just doing it on the cheap. I'm just drinking a Natty Ice.
Hey, Natty Bo,
Natty Ice,
Baltimore's
man.
finest.
Nice. So, yeah, what I have to ask. So it was purely price that made you make that decision.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And you know what? There's no hate because you know what? Sometimes it not only is it price, but you just don't want a big complicated anything in your life.
That's right,
You're
yeah.
just like,
Got that right.
I just want to grab an inexpensive beer for Christ's sake and enjoy it. And I don't want to think about it. I've had like Andrew was saying, I just got off work. You know what I'm saying? I went through the worst traffic ever.
I just want a few beers.
I just want a few beers. I don't want to spend like $500,000 on it. You know what I'm saying? You know. So yeah, no, I can understand. I had a neighbor that used to drink. Well, him and his dog drank Natty Ice.
Oh, Jesus.
He would crack open a beer for him.
Dog bowl.
He would just pour it on the puddle on the ground, and the dog will lap it up. And I know there's gonna be. I know I'm opening myself up to.
ASPCA is coming after you.
Yeah,
Jim.
I know that some people are gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?"
This episode sponsored by ASPCA.
This guy's talking about abusing a dog, and it wasn't me, but I mean, the dog loved. I mean, they loved each other. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy loved his dog, and he would, so if he had a beer, dog had a beer.
Hey, it's all good.
And it was Natty Ice, yeah. So,
Yeah,
so where are you from, my friend?
Akron, Ohio, actually.
Oh, Ohio.
Okay. Football Hall of Fame.
No, I was living down the road in Canton, but it's close enough.
Oh, close enough, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, yeah, we have. You know what? I think you're the first one in Share Beer history from Akron. I don't know that we've had anyone from Akron.
Yep.
My understanding is, like, as far as the reviewers, there's only 3 of us in Northeast Ohio. And I'm thinking I'm the only one that's not working right now. That's actually physically off from work,
Oh.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So how long you been reviewing?
I've been reviewing, oh man, it's got to be close to 3 years now.
Okay, awesome. And what's the craft beer scene like in Akron? What can we expect on our trip to the Hall of Fame?
Okay, now if we're talking towards Canton, I think it was down there. They have Royal Docks. They're pretty big down there. Outside of that, I'm really not totally familiar with the Canton scene. Now, Akron, we actually have quite a few here.
Okay.
The big ones obviously going to be Thirsty Dog and Hopping Frog.
You guys got Fatheads, right?
No. That's Strongsville.
Oh, all right. I don't know.
Yeah, that's up near Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Now, the other ones here, you got Mucky Ducks, you got Ron Shea, you got I think the name of them now just opened to Hi-Ho. There's about 5 more getting ready to come online here for the next year.
Cool.
So at least here in Akron, it's getting pretty big. Cleveland to me is just oversaturated.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What are some of the big Cleveland craft beers that we might be familiar with?
Well, the big 800-pound gorilla on the block is Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love their Edmund Fitzgerald.
Right, that's the popular one for sure.
Yeah, that's the only one I drink from them. Be honest with you.
I've also had their Burning River Ale and
aren't they
their
Great Lakes? Aren't they also known for their that sour cherry or something like that? Who's the one makes that sour?
Nosferatu. Is that what you're talking about? The Nosferatu?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
believe so.
Yeah.
What's their IPA? They have an IPA, right?
Oh, they have a few. Yeah.
Quintessential IPA.
Is that the Burning River that you just mentioned, Andrew? Is that their IPA, the Burning River?
It might, Burning River Ale is what it is, and it's so named after when the Cleveland River literally went up in flames because of all the pollution.
Back in the good old days of the 70s. Yeah, Lake Erie.
So
They have numerous IPAs though. They have the Chill Wave, I believe, double IPA that's out now.
Yep.
I think that's the one.
The cool thing I like about Great Lakes though is they actually name their beers after certain events.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ruben says Chill Wave or Lake Erie Monster, both double IPAs.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Hey, and Lance, really quick, man, you jumped in here right at the end of the show. I'm glad you found us, though. We're here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we have a Friday show that we do 1 p.m. Eastern as well. What? So, and this is totally off beer, but so are you a Cleveland fan? Do you you follow Cleveland sports? You got a dog in that hunt right now, you know.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never, as far as the NBA, I've never been a big NBA guy. I've always been a college guy.
Oh, okay.
Now, as far as football, see, I was born in New Orleans, so for me, I'm a lifelong Saint.
Oh, okay.
Saints fan.
Yeah, that's a mess down. I don't want to talk about that.
Got your Brandon Cook.
No, baseball. I'm a general baseball fan, and obviously have no hockey. So that's how it works here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering because you're that close to Cleveland, so I'm like,
well, you're close enough to Pittsburgh. You could be a Penguins fan and a Pirates fan.
That is true.
One of my old roommates, he despised the Penguins because he grew up in Boston, so I had to deal with the whole Sidney Crosby nonsense. I thought it was totally idiotic.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, I'm glad you found us, man, and hopefully we'll see you more in the future, man. That's awesome.
That'll work. Like you said, like since I work usually nights, I have an off day tonight, but it's you said Fridays at 1.
Yeah, Fridays at 1. Yep.
I gotta remember that then.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, the Friday show is a new thing for us. We just started that at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. But there's been more and more people wanting to join from overseas, so that's the show where a lot of our people from the UK or that time slot of the world typically join in because that's their afternoon when they get off of work. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, yeah, that'll be first for me. I've been trolling for hangouts like this, even though my work schedule, I'm usually only off Fridays and Saturdays. I just got lucky tonight. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm also a night worker myself. So, but this is our rant and rave portion of the show. And I'll start with Andrew there. What rant or rave do you have, my friend?
Oh, I got a little bit of both. Payday, Mom and I were out shopping, picked up a couple bargain movies. All's Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, that's a good movie.
1941, Belushi and Aykroyd.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it got trifecta, Midway, MacArthur, and To Hell and Back.
Wow. Classic. Yeah.
World War
Can you tell I like my World War II classics?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you consider 1941 to be a World War II classic?
That's more of a comedy, especially the line that Belushi says about the Germans bombing Pearl Harbor.
Okay, thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. And Barrick, what do you have, man? For a rant or a rave?
Well, listen, my divorce went through about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I've been seeing some women, and my rant is fucking women.
There you go.
You gotta love them, you gotta hate them.
Mark, that was an adjective and not a verb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember when I flew back to sign papers. And when I literally boarded the plane hours after that, literally a few hours after that, and I can remember the stewardess from the plane, as you're walking on, she's for some reason, she decided to spark up a quick little conversation with me. She was like, "How are you doing, sir?" And I was like, "I just got divorced." And she goes, "I'm gonna bring you a beer." Thank you
There
very
you go.
much.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, man! You know,
Free
so-
beer.
Yeah, and it was like you know, everybody. I think that whole month, I was like, everywhere I went, I was like, I just got divorced.
I'm going to Disney World.
I got more free beer just by saying that, man. You know,
Yep.
from
I'm
people.
gonna work on that.
Yeah.
I-
Just walk in, Barrick, and just go, I just got divorced. And just get all kinds of free stuff.
I just had the biggest smile ever. I was like, I just got divorced. And they were like, hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying you a beer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, thank you. So that's my story about that. So, thanks, Barrick. I appreciate it. That brought back some good memories, man. And Bum, what's your rant and rave, my friend?
My rant is another technological one. This is my track phone that got me onto the show so many times in the early years.
Oh, yeah.
And as you can see, it is permanently stuck on the startup screen.
Oh.
It's permanently stuck. And even if I power it down, it just starts up and recycles that startup screen over and over and over. And the phone, I can't turn the phone off other than removing the battery from it.
Can you
When I
reset?
put the battery back in,
Hard boot?
Can you reset it?
you mean a factory reset?
No, like can you reset it and go into like yeah.
Yeah, remove the battery and hit the reset button behind it, maybe.
Well, the problem is I have a bunch of stuff on there that I
you
have
don't
not
wanna
backed
lose.
up and have not put on my computer. So that
You have a SIM card?
yeah, but I don't want to get into it now because it'll take too long. Plus, I'm not a techie. There is a card, but for some reason, the phone was never able. I was never able to get the stuff transferred to the card from the.
You should be able to go to a third-party phone store, and they can do that for you.
Okay, hopefully I can. But
Cable and download it
I mean,
off.
they're going to
Yeah.
charge you. I mean, they're going to charge you,
Yeah.
but they can do that for you.
yeah, but I have a handful of things that are still on here that I don't have transferred anywhere else.
Oh, careful with those words. Careful with those words. Yeah, a handful of things I want. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I have a handful of things in here.
And I just was going to say a quick rave. Here's to the music of Greg Allman, the now late Greg Allman, and the Allman Brothers Band.
Really?
He just died on Saturday, and left behind the Allman Brothers Band, one of the greatest rock bands of all time, one of the most innovative, inventive bands in their early years. All time, one of the most influential bands of all time, and God bless.
They set the tone for Southern rock for quite a while. Yeah,
for better and for worse at times.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they keep going. Unlike Grateful Dead, when Jerry Garcia died, they just
the Allman Brothers Band ended it at the end of 2014.
okay.
Yeah, they're done for. Butch Trucks, the drummer, died earlier this year, so there's two original members left. One of them Dickie Betts hasn't played with them in 15 years.
Yeah. No, Dickie Betts, I think when he left, he was actually on a sour note with them.
Yeah, exactly.
He started his own group.
Yeah,
I remember seeing a interview. I forgot what news program, but he was saying, "Yeah, I left the Allman Brothers on a sour note, and I just been too busy with my own group even do any type of reunion tour with them."
Yeah. Now Allman Brothers is done.
Yeah. So everybody, open a craft beer, drink a craft beer or two, and listen to the Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore East. If you've never heard it before, your life will change.
Yes, I've heard it CD. I want it on vinyl. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was never an Allman Brothers fan, of course, but I think we've all heard at least a song or two from the Allman Brothers for sure. I mean, another one of those bands I've always heard of, just wasn't particularly my genre of music, but I have heard their music for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's and it is sad to hear of a group you've always heard about, and then people start going. So
Well, we're all getting old, so let's just
Yeah.
admit it. All the people that we grew up listening to start dying. I mean,
yeah,
that's just basically it.
it's unfortunate. It is. Yeah, it's it's
All the stuff from the
in-
70s is
in
gone.
my case, they didn't have to get old before they died. Marvin Gaye was one of the first ones that died. That just absolutely blew my mind.
He was under 50, wasn't he? Wasn't he like just over 50, maybe? Yeah.
I think Marvin might have been in his 30s, man.
Yeah, he might have been. Yeah.
He died in his 30s?
I think he was in his mid 40s, wasn't he?
Was it his 40s?
It's got to be in his 40s. 30s doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I think he was 45.
Okay,
He was not
45.
old.
Yeah, he was not old, man. Yeah, that's what sucked. And then when Rick James died, that kind of stuff for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of those people like that. Rick James, right? You can't even hardly
radio
say
show
his name. But Mark, what's your rant and rave, my friend?
My rant and my rave is combined, and it's vacation. A rave because it's awesome to get away for what are we gone 9 or 10 days, and a rant is vacation when you're gone for 9 or 10 days.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's the same problem. You're like, I want to get away and all that.
But I don't want to get away. Yeah.
And then the getting away causes its own set of problems, right?
Exactly. So I'm going to spend this week catching up to the 10 days that I was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was, more of a rave than a rant. But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome, man. And real quick, I'll get in Ruben's, because Ruben said his rave for the week was having today as his Monday. It's so nice to have the start of my week being Tuesday. So, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like having the short week after the holiday is another rave.
Always a good thing, yeah.
So you have a long weekend plus a short week, this week. So that makes a lot of people happy.
Most of us, not all of us.
Yeah, not all of us, right? Yeah, exactly.
I've got one more rave to share, but it's kind of a rave / rant, but I'll say it's more positive. I got another position I'm going to be training up for. It's going to be another step up in the company I'm working for, and also I'm going to have a boomstick be able to have a boomstick on my hip pretty soon.
Get a boomstick?
Whoa! Be careful with that, man. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You gotta
watch out there, boy. I'll make you boom.
Yeah. You gotta. So who's you gotta go low when you say that too. Who's
gotta go boomstick?
Who's boomstick?
That's a good beer name. Somebody should. All the craft brewers that watch this show should be going for that boomstick.
I got to keep my booger hook off the bang switch on the boomstick.
Oh my God!
That's another name, booger hook.
Booger hook.
Booger hook, double imperial stout.
So do you pick your booger hook with your boomstick?
Yeah. Booger hook. What? I have never heard that before in my life.
But you know what it is. I mean, as soon as you hear that, you know.
Yeah.
It's your finger.
I mean, there's no mistake in there.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Hey, Joe, do a Google search or a YouTube search for Student of the Gun Radio.
Oh my God. Okay.
The host of it is Paul Markle.
So
retired Marine Corps.
Okay. Well, let me move on here. Let's get to Tom and then Lance and end the show here. So what do we got, Tom, for a rant or rave?
I'm just gonna be very short and very sweet.
No.
The thing that will kill us all is procrastination.
I'm the president. I'm the president of it.
And it totally kills me.
Oh no.
It's just I hate procrastinating, knowing I have to do something and then don't do it and then put it to the last moment and then shove it all to one area and try to figure out everything, and It fucks me up.
Hey, I'm going to do that right now.
Tom, you're preaching to the choir, Tom.
Yeah.
We all procrastinate, man. Little
Tom,
bit.
right, Tom, right here. This would be a list of things I need to get done around the house.
Right. Yeah, I think, man, I think we are all guilty of that. No matter.
That's just guy stuff. I mean, guys just procrastinate. I think more than women.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Rod actually said Marvin Gaye was 44. So
44. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Who thought he was possessed or something, wasn't it? I mean, it was just like whacked.
Wait, what
Yeah.
year was that?
Oh, it
1984, I think.
Yeah, and it was in the 80s for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I just, man, I remember.
I remember that still. Yeah.
I remember that really like jacked me up. Between him and Luther Vandross, I remember when Luther Vandross died, I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me, man? Luther, come on, man! It's Luther. Luther don't die."
Well, how about what, Barry White?
That was shocking when Barry White died.
Yeah, Barry White. Yeah. So for me, like, you know, it wasn't necessarily bands, but musicians that I loved died since I was a kid. So it's like, you know, just another part of life, really. You know, and then you get the ones. I wasn't a huge fan of the Stones, but you get guys like that are just like, "Are you kidding me? Those guys are still alive."
Mark and I were.
I was
Keith
saying
Richards is still alive.
Yeah.
I was saying about the Stones. They proved that the illegal drugs can keep you alive.
No. The whole Stones, everybody in the Stones was purpose built by God for drugs, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, that's basically it.
And Ozzy, are you kidding me?
Ozzy too, yeah.
Ozzy too.
I mean, those Ozzy alone should be gone, my friend, and he's still cranks.
He should have been gone in 1980.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he
God.
can't talk, but he can still sing. It's
Yeah. He can't hear. He mumbles, but he sings okay. You know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So
much for artistic excellence.
yeah. Oh my God. Hilarious. So, Lance, what do you have first, my friend? A rant or a rave?
Well, I've been ranting all weekend about homebrew, how it went south last week. And I'm not happy about that.
About your what? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
I'm actually starting to do home brewing.
Oh, okay.
It's like I made an American cream ale. I had to pull it. I pulled it a day earlier than I normally would. I know I was supposed to because I was going out of town. But it just totally went south. I talked to people. They said that let it sit for another week, see if it clears. It's actually an American cream ale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the time of year. And that I'm just ranting. Like I've been going nuts about that the last 3-4 days.
Yeah, well, we have another craft brewer in the room as well, Barrick, and he actually, what was his rant a few weeks ago? Wasn't it what was it that he used in the container it comes in?
It was a different container.
It's like the syrup.
The syrup, yeah, the malt syrup.
Yeah.
You like increase the price by 10 times. No, it poured out all weird.
Yeah, they put it in a different.
There's a small hole at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like a big jar thing. You just pull it out with a spoon, like something I had. It was something real small.
Malt extract. It was malt extract. It was
extract.
That's what it was. It was all over his kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the wonderful thing about failing is knowing what you failed at and what you shouldn't do the next time.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful thing. It's like
you figure out what it was, and you can at least have a chance of not doing it again.
Right.
Exactly.
But
if you do it again, then it's just destiny.
Right. And that, like you're having that problem with that cream ale. A lot of people were giving you advice because they failed at it too at some point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think with the home brewing, that's the beauty of it, is that no matter what, you're gonna fail at a batch. I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? Like that's the experimentation with beer. Like it's just I can equate it to photography. Yep. I mean, I can prepare myself for a shoot and have, especially when I have my lighting setups and all this sort of thing, and check and double check and triple check everything. And the minute I go to shoot, everything fails. And you're like, are you freaking kidding me?
It happens to me all the time, so I know.
So yeah, that's the beauty of craft brewing, home brewing, is that you get those bizarre failures. You know, you especially for Barrick's been brewing beer for years, and
he's doing it right now as we speak.
Yeah, as we speak. Yeah, there. Yeah,
we got brew cam going.
Yeah,
it's actually number 2 for me, and my last resort is a clarifier. I don't want to go down that road. I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's one of those ones that's the last resort. I'm just going to sit it out. But that's just been a big time rant for me, like I said, for the last few days.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're getting into craft brewing. That's good, man. Home brewing. That's good.
Yeah, now my rave is actually something to where like a craft room right there, it looks like. Unless that's a big pot of pasta.
Yeah.
No, he's making beer.
Yeah, no, he's making beer.
Yeah.
And then also Lance, Ruben in the chat, if you're seeing the live chat on YouTube, he says to just contact him with any questions you have about home brewing. He's Ruben knows quite a bit about brewing himself, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Barrick.
And Zach, whenever he shows up, that guy's actually making a living doing it. So.
Yeah, Zach Zach is a really good friend of the show, and he actually started as a real beer reviewer. He actually wrote beer reviews for, I forget what paper there in Colorado, and now he owns his own brewery. And
okay.
And he jumps in every once in a while, but he stays pretty busy these days. So
okay, I gotta find how to get these guys links, things. I want to learn. So
Yeah, absolutely. Barrick right now is your good resource, and so is Ruben.
I do it the easy way. I make good beer, but I make it super, super easy. Super easy.
Okay.
But it tastes good, right, guys? Most of you guys have.
We've several of us have tried it. Excellent.
Yeah, he's actually shipped his beer to us, and we've sampled it. So it's not just something that we're just saying. We actually know we've had his beer, so it's actually really good. So
okay, and I know we're a little long here. I'll get my rave here real fast. Actually, my old roommate brought this to my attention this morning when I lived in Phoenix. So
okay.
Well, actually not. Okay, I take that back. I lived in Hopeville. Now, if you're in Phoenix, you notice, if you know where Hopeville is at, is on the other side of the Yuma bypass. Past Avondale, past Goodyear, past Buckeye, past all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, the rave I'm having is a conversation I'm having on my Facebook page is the whole Jerry Springer situation. He's back in the news here in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're actually considering running for governor. Again.
Oh, he's running for governor.
Isn't he the mayor of Cleveland?
No, he was the mayor of Cincinnati back in the 70s.
Okay.
And I've talked to people down in Cincinnati. Nobody wants him. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
That's about the moment I saw it.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing all those rant and raves, man. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here because we are really long today, but we got quite a bit in. Appreciate it, man. Everybody in the chat that jumped in there. Now we have Tom jumped in there as well, yep. Thomas. And Rod J, thank you for the information, man. I appreciate that. And Earth, as always, man, we had so many. Carrie showing up again. And
P-Dow. And P-Dow.
Oh, and P-Dow, yeah. We have Dow 52, he shows up in there now, and then King shows. I mean, we have the chat is getting its own life, and that's
we're
what I
worldwide.
Like. Yeah, we're definitely worldwide, man. Yeah. So, thank you, man, to everyone that jumps in. I appreciate it. Again, we are here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. So. 2 different time slots, and hopefully we can kind of accommodate everybody that way. I'm Joe D. My email is joedreviews@gmail.com. More than welcome to contact me that way. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you, man. Peace out.
Take care, man.
All right, man.
See you next week.